Hello and good morning friends, welcome once again to the CEC-UGC live lecture. Dear friends, as you know that we are carrying a series on operation management, and under this very series we have conducted numerous sessions, numerous lectures, and today also we are going to talk on this series particularly, and under this very series we are going to talk on a very important topic, and the topic is the future, global competition and continuous improvement. We will try to understand how global competition helps the various countries while they are dealing with their businesses for the continuous improvement, what they should do so that they could lead their country in the matter of business very high. So, for this we have again with us in our studios Dr. Subhash Kakkad. Dr. Kakkad is an eminent academician, and from time to time he visits various schools, various colleges, institutions, organizations, and there he conducts numerous workshops and conferences, and with the help of his experience, immense experience, he exchange his ideas, his knowledge. So, dear friends, taking advantages from his experiences, let's try to understand the topic, the future, global competition and continuous improvement. Hello sir,
thank you,
welcome
Gitika.
to the research lecture. Over to you sir.
Welcome viewers to today's lecture, which is part of the series on operations management, and today we shall be devoting this lecture to the future, the global competition and continuous improvement. In the last half of the 20th century, we have observed that number of multinational companies have increased like anything. What is the reason for that? We know that because of mergers and acquisitions, the operations of the companies have become large and large. They have spread their wings all over the world. Today we will discuss what is a future trend and what are the factors we should take care of so that we remain in the market, we ascertain our market share, and we improve our performance. And this global competition every company is to face if the company wants to remain in business profitably. So, today we will discuss some of the recent trends which are common in operations management. Companies are becoming multinational. Multinational company is the company which has mainly marketing operations beyond the country of its origin. The companies basically have their manufacturing facilities, R&D facilities, designing facilities in the company of origin. But nowadays, they have spread their marketing wings all over the world, and then they are known as multinational companies. When the operations and the businesses are spread all over the world, then we have to face the global competition. We have to compete with the other countries and other manufacturers who are operating in the countries other than the country of origin. So, we have to compete in market with those countries and their products. How to remain in the business, we have to discuss this today. There is a difference in multinational company and the global company. I said multinational company has mainly operations in the company of origin, but marketing is spread all over the world. But there is a difference in global company. A global company has manufacturing units all over the world. Maybe it has the design and research and development functions in the country of origin, but it has manufacturing units all over the world with lot of control on supplies, inventories, and the manpower in other countries. If such is the situation, we call the company as global company. And then we also have the companies which are called stateless corporations or stateless companies. These companies are the companies which have manufacturing units all over the world and even the research and development units all over the world. They have a better control on the resources available in those countries, and they take help from the government, they take help from the employees and the manpower available in those countries, and these are then called stateless companies. So, all these three companies have lot of potential and lot of challenges to meet in future, so that they remain in the market and in the business. What are the things they should look into so that they run their business profitably without any problem? Today we are to discuss all those things which are to be done by the companies so that they enlarge their operations all over the world. I will talk about the first thing, improvement spiral and the competitive spin. The companies are there, they earn profit. There are two types of companies. The first type, the company earns profit and spends some portion of the profit on the research and development, makes modification in the product, makes modification in the process also. Whatever benefits are received from these modifications, these are partly passed on to the customers. Doing so, they improve their market share. When the market share is improved, they earn more profit. When more profit is there, the additional profit again they put it into the business in the form of research and development in improving the product and the processes, and the benefits again passed on to the customers. If such is the case, the company will keep progressing day by day, and this is said that the company has entered into improvement spiral, because every time the operations are increasing and enlarging. On the other hand, if the companies are earning profit, they are keeping the reserves with them only, and they are not using the profit to improve the product or process. Maybe the reasons are such operations which are capital intensive, and people do not want to invest their funds in such capital intensive businesses. They do not make any improvement in the product, and they do not make any improvement in the process. When improvements are not done and the customers start shifting from these type of companies to other companies which are giving more benefits and more satisfaction to the customers. With the result, the companies start losing on profit. Profit starts diminishing. With the low profit, company has to reduce the operations, and the company is said to have entered into competitive spin. Because of competition, the business is reducing day by day of such companies. So, what is the lesson learned? Lesson learned is the company should spend some money on improving the product and improving the processes, so that benefits are passed on to the customer, and customers are more and more satisfied day by day. But what is the factor which makes the customer satisfied, or what is the strategy to be adopted by the firm so that they remain in the business even if they are spending money on the R&D, money on the product improvement and process improvement? How to go about in the business of operations management so that they are in the improvement spiral all the time. So, quest for continuous improvement. Strategy. first and the foremost important factor is strategy. One should have a best strategy to operate in the business as far as operations management is concerned. This strategy should be continuously checked and improved based on SWOT analysis, strengths and weaknesses, opportunities and threats. The internal strengths of the company and weaknesses of the company should be studied continuously, and these should be analyzed continuously with respect to opportunities and threats available from the environment. And the strategy should be formed so that company should be able to progress further and further. And strategy, when once made, it should be analyzed and checked also with the results obtained, whether the results obtained are as per the analysis previously done. If these are not up to the mark, if the gaps are there in the results, those gaps should be analyzed and the gap should be bridged up with the modified strategy, and due and utmost importance to be given to the strategy of the company. Once the strategy has been formulated, then its implementation is to be seen. A proper implementation of the strategy formulated give us the results, and these results should be measured on continuously basis and frequently. Results should be analyzed with respect to our own requirements and the gaps be analyzed. If the strategy is best chosen, the results will also be acceptable. Product design. Next factor I want to discuss is product design. Product design, there are two things in this. One is the product should be designed as per the needs of the customer, as per the requirements of the customer. And this new product design should be given to the customer as fast as possible. And nowadays, companies are using modern techniques to launch the products without losing on time. And these techniques are quality function deployment, which is simply QFD, in which we make house of quality, and features to be incorporated in the product with respect to the competition, with respect to the products of the competitors, what features they are giving and what features should be incorporated in our product, and that exactly is to be seen through QFD, quality function deployment. And in this particular method, we match the voice of customer with the voice of process. Voice of customer gives us the requirement of the customers, needs of the customers. But we have processes installed in our company, and the voice of process also tells us something, then this particular thing is possible and this particular thing is not possible. When we make house of quality through quality function deployment, we exactly come to know what all features we should incorporate in the product so that our product fetches market share and satisfy the customer to the best ability. And then one should train the personnel in the research and development department, in the design department, on those techniques which make the product faster in the market and which satisfy the customer needs. Logistic network is another factor which should be looked into. We should devote our attention to supply chain management. We should have proper networks, logistic networks, so that we are able to get to the customer without wasting our time. We should be able to provide the product and the services to the customer, and whenever there is a change in the demand of the customer, it should be known to us, it should be visible to the market team, and the necessary steps should be able to be taken. Because we have bullwhip effect, which we see in supply chain management. A small variation in the demand of customer, it has enlarged effect at the tail end, where we have suppliers who are storing raw material, who are storing semi-finished products for us. So, with that effect in mind, we should be always vigilant regarding the needs of the customer. So, supply chain management and logistic network should be properly analyzed wherever some drawbacks are found, and those drawbacks should be immediately removed. And every chain and every link of the chain in the supply chain management should be strengthened, so that no weak link is available which destroys the operations of our manufacturing unit or our operations unit. Process and equipment should also be given due importance. Here we have to see that we have the best processes available and the best equipment available, best in the sense that their operations are efficient, operations are effective, and those are cost effective also. Whatever product we have designed, we should be able to manufacture it through our processes and equipment, and these should be continuously analyzed and continuously monitored as far as their productivity is concerned or as far as their troubles are concerned. If we are not able to troubleshoot the problems, we should change the process. For this, we have BPR. Nowadays, people go in for BPR studies. BPR is business process reengineering. With this technique, all the processes of the organization are studied, and the processes mainly which are giving problems, they are thoroughly studied through process mapping, and their problems are studied. Then these processes are changed altogether. BPR is for radical changes. The process is completely changed, and we want to see the enormous results. If such is the case, we introduce BPR in the company. BPR, those processes which need change are changed, but before changing those processes, a proper study is made whether we have good available processes which will replace our existing processes, so that we are able to get the results. And these results we are looking for are enormous in nature, and we are looking for a radical change, not only an improvement in the process. We have to see the arrangement and the layout of the equipment and the other facilities in the company. When we see that these are strategically placed, effective operations are there, and troubles are highlighted because of the layout, then this layout is the best suitable layout. If on the other hand, things are cluttered, housekeeping standards are poor, our movement will not be possible. any problem occurring in the machine will not be visible. So, such a company will meet its disaster. So, we have to avoid such things in future, so that we progress automatically without wasting our time on logistic movements in the company itself. So, arrangement and layout is to be seen thoroughly, and then again we have to map the process. We have to see how much transportation is required in this existing process, where all improvements are possible. We have to see all those points. When we do that, we will be able to know what are the surplus activities which are not adding value to the product, and will try to avoid and remove those processes or activities. When this is done, the entire process will become more efficient and effective, and this is what we want. Our layout should be the perfect one, and we should not be wasting even a single second, and we should not accept any kind of delay. Then we have to introduce systems, scheduling and control. Systems, what sort of production system or a system for service industry should be adopted? There are so many systems available, and we have to see that we implement the best system. I will name a few of them. In operations management, we know that pond drainage system is available, push system is available, pull system is available, and TOC, theory of constraints, system based on theory of constraints, means debottlenecking is available, and we have to see what sort of system we have to adopt. And the layout part, whether it is going to be product layout, process layout, or FMS, flexible manufacturing system, or GT, group technology, or cellular layout. And these layouts we have to study. Why? Because we are entering into the future where more and more global competition is there, and we have to compete the global competition to survive. For that, we have to see each and every aspect of our operations and every aspect of our business. We have to leave nothing unattended or left without any attention. We have to give proper analysis and proper attention to each and every point if we want to compete in the global market. And we have to see that proper selection of system should be there. Whether it is going to be a continuous process, whether it is going to be a job order process or intermittent process. Based on certain factors, we have to decide what sort of system we are going to have. Pond drainage system, in this system we have the maximum inventory, work in process inventory as well as otherwise inventory is very high. All the work centers work full to their capacities. Whatever extra is produced, that goes for assembly, and the assembled product is kept in the inventory waiting for the customer requirement. When a customer requirement comes, it is passed on to him through the stores. In this particular case, we have very good amount of inventory, which is not good. Then we have pull system. Pull system means the products are being pulled from the previous work centers, and at the end we have customer waiting for the product. We get a demand from the customer for certain quantity of the product, the moment we get the demand, last work center is triggered to produce the product, and this last work center gives a request to the previous work center to send the semi-finished items, and similarly the chain starts working and products are being now pulled. In this case, we have the minimum work in process inventory, and even we do not have anything in the stores based on the customer requirement, and things are ordered and these are received at the shop floor, and this method is called JIT also, lean manufacturing, just in time and Kanban. Whatever is required, that is ordered and received at the shop floor, and nothing is kept in the stock, whether it is raw material, semi-finished products or components, and even the finished product is also not kept in the store. The moment it is ready, it is given to the customer, and this is called pull system. There is another system which is push system. In push system, which works through planning, MRP, material requirement planning, MRP 1 and MRP 2. MRP 2 is manufacturing resource planning, and MRP 1 is material requirement planning. And based on the planning, we have sub-assemblies, raw material and components in the inventory, and through planning things move. Through forecasting, things will move, will decide how much we have to produce, and through planning only all the work centers are given jobs to operate, and final finished products are stored in the inventory. The moment we get requirement from the customer, things are moved from the stores to the customer. And the last method which I want to discuss is TOC, theory of constraint, where we see the process so thoroughly and we see the bottlenecks which are reducing the production rate of the product, and those bottlenecks are removed from the process and the smooth operations are kept. There are other things also we have to see in the system, and when these systems are analyzed properly and the systems are selected for the production, we get the effective operations. So, one has to give thought to the system which is to be chosen. Then the important resource which is used in manufacturing or service industry is to be taken care of. Employees, a due importance should be given to the employees, and training needs of the employees be seen, and based on the training needs, we have to impart training to our employees. When the training has been imparted to the employees should start working in the organization with more knowledge, more training, and maybe more qualification. We have to see the impact of training on the performance of the employees. If we are able to get the improvement in their performance, the training is best. If something is still to be done, we should identify the further training needs of the employees, and we should impart training to the employees. And we have to see that quality of the product is improved at every stage, whether we are buying the raw material, whether we are buying the sub-assemblies or we are buying the components. Each and everything should be of the desired quality, and their working at each and every workstation should be checked. and our processes should be such that built-in quality standards are there at every step, and they should move automatically with the quality in mind. And quality means the degree of excellence which the product or service provides to the customer. We have to satisfy the customer all the time and we have to see that we give something extra to the customer. I will give an example. The customer needs a cup of coffee from a coffee vending machine. The customer goes there and asks for a cup of coffee. The vendor provides him a cup of coffee. It means his stated needs have been fulfilled. Whatever he wanted has been given to him. He will pay for it. Now, there is a vendor. When the customer asks for a cup of coffee, he gives him a cup of coffee, he gives him a napkin also. And this napkin is his implied need. Because he is taking a cup of coffee, then he requires a napkin also. The vendor gives him a napkin also. The customer will like to go to the second vendor because he is not only satisfying his stated need, he is also satisfying his implied need also. And third vendor is there. When somebody asks him for a cup of coffee, he gives cup of coffee and a napkin and a cookie also along with it. Because he knows that the customer, while taking cup of coffee, will like to have a biscuit or a cookie along with it. Then he needs a napkin also. So, this vendor is giving cup of coffee, napkin and a cookie. He is satisfying the stated need of the customer, he is satisfying implied need of the customer, and he is now delighting the customer, and the customer will like to go to the third vendor always. So, we have to see that we are always in the third category, that we are delighting the customer. This is the future requirement. If we want to remain in the business and if we want to improve the market share, we have to delight the customer. We are not only to satisfy the stated need of the customer, we are not only to satisfy the implied need of the customer, we have to go much beyond it, which is we have to delight the customer, and we have to reach such a stage, and we have to do something to reach that stage, and that should be the aim of our business. And now, we have to see the efficiency also. When I say efficiency of the machines, efficiency of the processes, and the efficiency of manpower. Everything is to be done, and we have to see that everything moves efficiently and effectively. Where we want only X amount is sufficient, we should never put in X plus delta X. Rather, we should see that where X amount is required, we should put only X minus delta X, and we have to receive the same amount of result. If such is the case, we are running the processes effectively and efficiently. And every day, we have to look for improvement in efficiency, improvement in effectiveness, and then we have to see the productivity also improving. This improvement in efficiency, improvement in productivity and improvement in effectiveness not only improves the profit, but it improves the morale of the employees, and people will like to work in the company, people will like to give the results if such is the case, and we have to see that moral of the employees is kept high all the time when the organization is working. So, these are the factors we have to see before having a business and during the business, because the reason is we are going to enter the future, which is the global competition, and we can face the global competition through continuous improvement. Every time, every day we have to improve on our existing operations. We have to make them more efficient, more effective and more profitable all the time. Now, I want to discuss some of the terms which are recently used in operations management, and these recent terms we have to see that we are master of these terms and we implement these terms in the organizations if we want to have more market share, rather we have to remain in the global market. I will discuss in the operations management in the factory we have high end and low end. But what is high end and what is low end? High end in the factory is the point where the raw material, sub assemblies and components enter. And then we have series of work centers where different operations are carried out. Operations move through gravity and the product finally reaches the low end. Low end is the exit gate from where the customer will pick up the product. So, high end is the entrance point of raw material, low end is the exit point for finished products. And push system and pull system, which I have already discussed. Push system, the system which works through MRP 1 and MRP 2. Basically, we had only MRP 1 in the initial stage, material requirement planning. But when our operations enlarged, we thought of other things to be included into the operations, and these things means these functional areas. We wanted finance to be included, marketing to be included, engineering to be included, and then we introduced one more MRP, which is manufacturing resources planning. This MRP 2 means manufacturing resource planning has not replaced MRP 1, material requirement planning, but it is in addition to MRP 1. So, when we have both MRP 1 and MRP 2, our operations become more effective. We do not see problems, we see the solutions to the problems by the introduction of MRP 2. Then nowadays we talk about TQM, total quality management. Total is made up of whole, quality is degree of excellence which a product or service provides the customer. And the third one, management, it is an act, art or manner of handling, controlling, directing, etc. And quality is not an act, quality is a philosophy. It gets embedded into our mind, into our heart, into our operations, and the quality moves automatically. One need not drag it because it is a philosophy. And nowadays people talk about TQM, and without implementation of TQM, the quality does not move, quality does not improve, because the competition is so high. The competitors have installed and implemented TQM techniques, and every other company should also implement TQM techniques. So, I said quality is not an act, it is a philosophy. But when we are having operations in the company, and we have to see that our operations are such that housekeeping standards are maintained to its excellent conditions. Japanese people have given us a 5S method, 5S system for keeping housekeeping standards in the organization, in the company. And these 5S are: first is for sorting, and the Japanese word is siri. Second S is set in order, and the Japanese word is saiton. Third S is shine, means clean, and the Japanese word is shiso. Fourth is standardize, standardizing the process, and Japanese word is saiketsu. Last S is sustain, and this means discipline. This is shitsuke. So, Japanese people have suggested to use 5S system to keep housekeeping standards high in the company. And this is again an example of 5S, where sorting, stabilizing, etc., and shining, standardizing, sustaining, etc., are shown. When we say sorting, sorting means differentiating between needed item and not needed item. We have to sort them out, and the items which are not needed should be taken out of the factory, and similarly then stabilize, then put the required items properly, arrange them properly, and shine. We have to dust, we have to remove the dust from the items which are kept, and then standardize. So far what we have done is to be standardized and put in practice through sustaining. Every time we have to repeat it, and this is the meaning of 5S. But in Indian culture, we have done something extra, and something extra is: first is sorting. Between, we have to sort the needed items and unneeded items. Unneeded items are to be declared as waste items, and these waste items are to be sent out of the factory through waste disposal. Now we are left with the required items only, and these items are to be arranged properly. For this, we have to use that a place for everything and everything in place. We should have identified place where a particular item is to be kept. Maybe we will have something in writing which will show us the item and its location. And second part is, once we have decided the location of the item, we have to keep the item in that location. So, needed items are now properly arranged and kept. Next is cleaning, and these needed items we have to clean them regularly. We will have some frequency fixed for cleaning such items. Every shift these will be cleaned, or every day these will be cleaned, or every week. So, we have to identify the cleaning jobs which are to be done every day, every shift, every week, and every month. Then is a habit forming. Whatever we have done so far, we have to practice it hard so that it becomes our habit. Every time we have to do the same thing. After habit formation, we have to convert this habit into our hobby. We should start enjoying the process what we have studied so far, that it should become our hobby, it should become our game. We should start working as if we are playing the game. After doing that, we have to make the ambience also appealing. Ambience appealing means ambience and your factory should be inviting others to come inside. This is possible only when we have good things available in the shop floor or in the company or in the office. And these good things are, we should plant small planters in the factory. We should display good photographs, paintings, etc. in the factory. And we should go to the extent of having diffusers in the organization, in the offices, to make the ambience appealing and inviting. Next is total timely maintenance. We have to carry out maintenance work very fast. The moment we see something going out of order, we have to see that it is attended without wasting our time. Otherwise, it will create disaster if the maintenance problem is not attended timely. Broken tiles, broken floors, burnt switches, burnt sockets should be attended immediately. Flickering tube lights be replaced immediately. And similarly, machines giving noise be attended immediately. Wherever we find low productivity, machines should be attended immediately. And this is the meaning of timely total maintenance. Timely total maintenance means we have to keep all the equipment, plant and building in its original condition all the time. And the last is we have to appreciate our efforts. Whatever we have achieved or we have done so far, we should start appreciating our efforts. We should start encouraging ourselves. And for this, we can call others to witness what we have done so far. We should show them we were in such a bad condition and we have made improvements and now our condition is such. Such an improvement has been done and we should feel proud of it and we should feel happy. This is through not 5S, this is our Indian invention, which is Swachhata. Now we have to talk about another dimension of quality. After TQM, we have to talk about Six Sigma also. We have to make our processes which are variation free. The products which are produced from our machines, from our processes, do not have any defect. If such is a condition, then we are running our processes at Six Sigma level. To be precise, Six Sigma level, we have only a maximum of 3.4 defects in 1 million operations. If such is a condition we have achieved, then we can call our process Six Sigma. So we should start improving on the processes so that we start moving from 1 sigma, 2 sigma, 3 sigma, 4 sigma, and finally 5 sigma, and finally 6 sigma also. And this is nothing but a capability scale of the process, how much defects the process is producing. So, Six Sigma is a measurement scale for the process capability. Six Sigma, 6 what? What is a sigma? Defining Six Sigma, a statistical measure of the performance of a process or a product, a goal that reaches near perfection for performance, a system of management to achieve lasting business leadership and world-class performance. And this is the definition of Six Sigma. Six Sigma is a measure of process capability. In other terms, Six Sigma checks the variation, spread of the process. And with this, we reduce the variation in the process. Levels of Six Sigma performance. In this table, I have shown two columns. First column gives us a sigma level, the other is DPMO. Defects per million operations is DPMO. When we are running the process with 1 sigma level, we are producing 6,90,000 defects per million operations. And if we are running the process at 2 sigma level, we are producing 3,08,537 defects per million operations. 4 sigma level and these defects reduced to 6,210 defects per million operation. 5 sigma level only 233 defects per million operations. And 6 sigma level and this defect level is only 3.4 defects per million operations, which is hardly anything. So, the future demands that we run our processes at 6 sigma level if we want to be in the global market. If we want to improve our market share, we have to run our processes at 6 sigma level. And today's trend is people are going in for 6 sigma processes only. People are also going in for GIT. GIT is what? It is integrated activities designed to achieve high volume production using minimal inventories of raw material, work in progress and finished goods. GIT is just in time, where inventory levels are kept at 0. Items which are ordered and received are never kept in the store. They are delivered to the shop floor and shop floor people immediately use them. And these inventories of raw material, sub-assemblies and components are kept in the vendor's store. The moment the requirement comes, the vendors are informed and they supply the material immediately without any delay. And such a process is called GIT. This is also called Kanban. Kanban and pull system. In an inventory or production control system that uses a signaling device to regulate flows of material, and this is called Kanban system. And this is also part of lean manufacturing. Lean manufacturing is what? When we say lean, it means the person is free from fat. When the fats are removed, he has become lean. And similarly, in the organization, if we remove these fats, the company will become lean and our manufacturing process will be called lean manufacturing. But what are these fats? We have to understand what these fats are. These are our expenditure on inventory, it is our fat. Generation of wastes, it is our fat. So, we have to reduce the inventory, we have to reduce the waste, then we will call the process a lean manufacturing. Just in time manufacturing, it is a philosophy of manufacturing based on planned elimination of all wastes and continuous improvement of productivity. It encompasses the successful execution of all manufacturing activities required to produce a final product, from design engineering to delivery and including all states of conversion from raw material onwards. And this is called just in time manufacturing or simply GIT. The primary elements of GIT are to have only the required inventory when needed. So, we have to give due importance to the inventory level when we talk of GIT. Why we are discussing GIT? Because it is a future requirement of any organization for its operations function. To improve quality to zero defects, no defective items be produced in the factory. To reduce lead times by reducing setup times, queue lengths and lot sizes. We should have small lot sizes and we should have very low level of queues in the factory, and to incrementally revise the operations themselves, and to accomplish these things at minimum cost. And we have to see that every time the cost involved is minimum. In the broad sense, it applies to all forms of manufacturing, whether it is job shop, process and repetitive, and to many service industries also. And we have to see that we work for GIT to maintain zero inventory, zero waste. With this, we have discussed the factors we should look into in our operations so that we can meet the future and to remain in the global market. And these factors should be given due importance and analysis be done at proper level. With this, I finish my lecture. I hope I am able to convince the viewers that unless we carry on with these factors effectively, we will not be able to progress or we will not be able to enter into the future. Thank you so much.
With this note, thank you, sir. Thank you so very much for giving us a very productive session. Thank you once again.